Today, I'm going to show you how to use YYeni AI as a teacher. So first you have to be on the yenichat.com domain. And then if you don't have an account already, you have to click sign up. When you sign up, you'll enter your email and password. So this can be any password you create, but you have to remember it. And ideally, it will be nice to use your work email. And then again, if you don't want to go this route and you are logged in onto your Google Chrome, you can just continue with Google and use a profile so that you don't have to enter a password anymore, but just log in with Google. So I already signed up, so I'm going to log in with my email. Then I'm going to demonstrate to you in an example where I'm going to try to teach a lesson. So particularly, I'm going to try and teach numbers and operations as a teacher. And these are the objectives we want to cover from the syllabus. Now, the moment you sign up, you won't have an account. So you won't have classes showing here. So for example, it will say, welcome to your dashboard. It looks like you don't have a classroom yet. You can create your own classroom by clicking the plus icon. So this icon, or you can join your teacher's classroom by clicking the search icon. That will be this icon. So because we are teachers, we want to create our own classroom. And in that classroom, that's where we're going to be teaching mathematics. Okay. So you go ahead and click the plus icon to create your own classroom. You give your classroom a name, a title. So in this case, I'll call it mathematics, category 10. Then you have to choose a category. So that will fall under mathematics, or is math. And for the rest, if your subject is not here, then you just choose others. Okay. So I'll choose mathematics. And then you have to choose the grade. So you can do grade 4 to across all level. If it's university, you choose university. So I'll choose grade 10. And then you have to select an image for that class. So that image will be the image used when showing the classroom. So I'll choose this one. And then you have to select a school from where you are teaching. So if you're at university, you choose one of the universities then. And if your school is not here, you can always reach out. So we edit here. So I'll choose YYeni AI. And then you have to enter the password. This password is what you will use to share with the students to join your classroom. So you need to remember this password. Okay. So then I create the classroom, click OK. So now it's going to be shown to me right here on my dashboard. Okay. So now I have one class. If I have another subject I'm teaching, then I just follow the same approach, create the classroom, and then it will show here. Now I'll go into the classroom. And then as a teacher in this classroom, I will have this edit mode button. But if I wasn't the teacher and just a normal learner, the edit mode button won't be there, but everything else will be the same. So there are 4 sections now. On the teacher side, I can now add more sections. So example, I can add another section, call it section 5, for example. But ideally, the title of the section should be the title of the theme, right? So you can rename the section. So let's say, example here, I'll be teaching numbers. Numbers and operations. That will be this section. And then then you will create other sections as well. So that's numbers and operations, for example, then topic 1. And then topic 3 here will be set languages and notations. Set languages. I will rename that one. So then under this section, I'll be putting everything related to sets. Under here, I'll be putting anything related to numbers and operations. Another section, maybe I'll be teaching algebra. And so it's really up to you, to the teacher, to decide how you want to rename your sections, and based on the syllabus is how you are following it, right? And so under numbers and operations, which is what we want to teach today, let's add our first lesson. So our first lesson under numbers and operations, I'll go under activity. So remember, all you have to do to add a section is click the plus icon and then add activity. So then I'll choose a general lesson activity, and then I'll have to give it a title. Okay, so I'll go into the syllabus, and then let's go under this section. The topic, the title will be a real number system. So let's copy that. That's what we want to teach, real number systems. And then there are lesson objectives we have to enter here. So we can look at lesson objectives exactly what it is that you want YYeni AI to teach. So this will be in your syllabus or your course outline, and then you have to just outline it in a manner that makes sense, that's instructional. So example here, we'll put by the end of this lesson, the learner should be able to. So I want to copy that and put it here as well. And so then I'll go here and just copy the first learning objective by the end of this lesson. Copy that. So by the end of this lesson, structure it properly. At the end of this lesson, the learner should be able to classify different types of numbers as natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, and irrational numbers. So that's the first objective. Then we go ahead and copy the second objective. Copy that. Go back on YYeni, and then we paste that. Okay, let me just structure it properly. Okay, this will be square root 2. Okay, then just choose the advanced one here. Okay, so what you see here to identify. At the end of this lesson, the learner should be able to identify and use natural numbers. So I think this statement right here is very instructional. So you might as well just copy this and put this in front of every learning objective you have. By the end of this lesson, the learner or the student should be able to classify. And so after that, you can now choose to create a lesson with a general lesson without a quiz. But ideally, we recommend you always create with a quiz so that you can, I'll show you now. Once I create with the quiz, YYeni AI will generate multiple choice questions for me based on the learning objectives that we just entered here. Based on these two learning objectives, it will generate the questions, the options, and the correct answer. And then it will give it to you as a teacher so that you can review the quiz before you save it. Okay, so it will generate both multiple choice and structured questions. So let's give it a moment for it to generate. It can last for maybe 45 seconds to 1 minute as it's generating over 10 questions, 10 multiple choice questions. Okay, the questions have been generated. And so you see which of the following number is a rational number. The correct answer is 1.5. So the teacher can change this if they feel like it's wrong, which won't be the case, or they feel like they want to set up a new question on it. So then they will save changes, and then that will start generating structured questions. And then it will also give the question, the guide answer, and then the amount of marks the question is worth. So a teacher can add more information on the guide answer. The guide answer is basically the memo what the AI will use to mark the learner's response. So it's generating 5 structured questions with varying marks. Okay, so it came back. For example, we have question 1 here. Explain the difference between natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers. Provide examples for each category. So this is 6 marks. And then here is the guide answer. So the teacher can add more on the guide answer. So remember, the guide answer is like the memo. And so this is the marks. Define natural rational numbers, irrational numbers. Please provide 2 examples for each. So the teacher can edit and change the marks as well. So once we save this, the quiz will have been created and then refreshes. And so what you'll see, basically, I can add now another topic under the same section. I'll add another lesson. So eventually it will be all the topics related to numbers and operations will come here. All the topics related to sets will be under this section, or algebra under that section. So it's up to you to just add, right? And so the moment you have created the topic, all the learners in that class, and in this case, we only have 1 learner because I'm the only one who joined the class. So there will be, this will be the list of lessons or conversations that each learner is having under the topic real number system. And so, for example, you can see here, this learner didn't send a message yet. So this is us, the teacher, we haven't sent a message yet. But the more learners who join this class, the more learners will appear here. And then once the learners have sent messages, you can view the messages and see how they are interacting, which I will show you a bit sooner here. And then once they are done interacting, you can enable the quiz for this student to participate. Each learner will receive their quiz at a time determined by the teacher. And then you can review the learner's quiz here as well. So I'll go on the learner side and attempt this lesson so that you can see. So on the learner side, everything will look exactly like this, except that there won't be this button. This edit mode button won't be there, but everything else will look like this. So the learners will join the real numbers lesson. If they click this yellow button here, they will also be able to see the objectives. They will see what the lesson is about. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna start sending a message in this lesson, real numbers, and I'll start and say, hi, what are we learning today? So I'll send that through. Okay. So while we're waiting for Yenny to respond, so it will respond there. Today we are going to explore the fascinating world of numbers. We'll learn how to classify different types of numbers and understand their unique properties. To begin, let's start talking about the simplest kinds of numbers. Can you tell me what you think about what natural numbers are? And perhaps give a few examples. So encourage the learners to say what they think here. They should not be having open books, open textbooks. Let them just be discussing and saying what is in their head. They can, of course, do voice inputs, and then they can further chat with the human teacher. So if I want to chat with the teacher on the other side, I'll click this here, and then I can send a message and complain to my teacher here, basically. So this is me sending a message to the human teacher who's in charge of this class. And then the learners, who once you have enabled the quiz, the students will be able to come here, and then they can attempt the quiz. But because the quiz is not enabled for this particular learner yet, they can't attempt it. So only after they've gone through the lesson will they be able to attempt it, or when the teacher decides to enable the quiz. So that's what happened there. So that's what it looks like. So the learner will come and type and respond to the AI here. So again, if I go on the edit mode side and I go in this topic, I can now see the message that the learner was sending. So this was what Vitalis was sending to YYeni AI. And as a teacher, I can type here and respond and talk and instruct Vitalis further. I'll be able to switch the conversation from one learner to another learner here if there are more learners in the classroom. Okay. And once they send every 10 messages that the learners send in the lesson, we will be analyzing the misconceptions. So then once you click here, you will see a list of misconceptions. But in this case, there's only 2 messages that were sent. So let's enable the quiz, for example, for this learner. So enable the quiz. And then once we enable it, we want to go on the other side and just test it. So you see how it looks like on the teacher side, on the learner side as well. We enable the quiz. So I'll click this here to be able to start the quiz. Oops, I need to select the classroom. So you select this classroom, real numbers, and then enable the quiz. No, I mean, attempt the quiz. When they start attempting, there's a timer for it, and then they can start answering. So answer there. Right now, we'll just choose randomly, so you can sort of see. I'll choose there, choose there, choose that one. And then the learners will type in their responses here. I have, let me just type in something similar, natural numbers, counting numbers. And whole numbers are not fractions. So I'm just trying to type whatever it is that's coming in my head so that I can populate this at least with something that's related to the questions or the topics being asked. So then I'll just paste the same answer across. Okay, and then the learner will have to submit. And then here, encourage them again just to type what they know to explain it. So they don't have to copy. That won't be necessary because again, you're not using this at the end of the day to assess them. You're just using this to assess, to understand what they already know about the topic, not to get them to decide whether they will fail or pass the topic or not. Okay. So then we're done there. It has been successfully created. And then all we have to do is come back here and then the quiz has been marked and then the learner can see the feedback. So we got 4 out of 40, we got 10%. It will indicate the right and wrong answers. And then for the structured questions, it was out of 6, the learner scored 0. And then this was the learner's answer, your answer. And then this is the feedback the learner got. Your response does not address the question about the difference between natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers. Additionally, it lacks examples for each category as requested. Please review the definitions and try to include specific examples in your answer. Okay, so this is what the learner immediately gets feedback and marking for both multiple choice and structured questions. And for us, the teachers on the other end, we as well can review and watch the learner's quiz. Okay, so this is what you see here on the teacher side as well for each learner. Okay, so that's in a nutshell how to use YYeni. When you go back, you click that button to go to your dashboard, and then you will see your classes. So you can create more classes for the different subjects or modules you're offering. And then you'll be able to just get into the class, go into the edit mode side, create lessons, add sections, and then create lessons in those sections, just like this. And then you'll be able to see each learner in that lesson. Okay, so thank you very much. Feel free to reach out if you need any help on setting up or if you're having any challenges.